Oh, brother. A leak in the ceiling. I've got to fix that. Now, how am I going to do that exactly? Hey, it's Annie, Bonnie, and Uncle Eddie. How are you guys doing?
We're doing fine.
What are you doing here, by the way?
We're living here.
Oh, you're living here, and I'm helping you out today, right?
You are. You're helping us out.
Okay, because you had a leak up in the ceiling right here, and it also dripped down over here, and you think I can fix that for you?
I do. I trust Video Joe.
Okay. Well, I started doing some preliminary stuff. I ended up getting some plastic, and I plasticked this off, okay? Because we're going to make a little bit of a mess. If you got an air conditioner, you want to make sure your air conditioner is turned off or your heater's turned off. We don't want any air blowing around in this room, because once we start cutting this sheetrock, it's going to drop down. It's going to get all in the air. But we're doing this so that the sheetrock dust is going to fall straight down, okay? But we still wanted to put plastic up in a couple different areas. Now I have to put some more plastic down on the floor because I don't want to get a mess. And I ended up getting some plastic, and this is painter's drop plastic, and it comes in a roll 400 feet long, 9 foot wide or 12 feet wide. I always get the 12 foot wide. It doesn't really cost that much more than the 9 foot, and you never know, because if you wanted, you could bag this off. You could put a wall up across the hallway if you wanted, depending how much patchwork you're going to be doing. And if your ceiling is 8 or 9 feet tall, then you don't have enough room to tape it at the top and then also tape it down at the bottom with 9 foot plastic. So that's why I always get 12 foot plastic and stuff. Now, the question is, are you going to run the camera for me, Annie Bonnie?
Yes, I will run the camera.
Okay, because it's not that hard. I'll show you exactly how to do it. And if you have any questions while I go along, I want you to ask me, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to have you grab the camera from me and we'll get going.
Okay.
You up for this?
I am.
Okay, all right. Now, what am I going to use here? I don't have many tools here, and I'm borrowing some from my aunt and uncle and also from my dad. So, I mean, I got a hammer here. I've got a tape measure in here, a little sheetrock saw, and I've got a chalk line and a little carpenter's pencil right here. Not very big, but I'm gonna make it work. I got a couple nails in here, and I'm gonna use some sheetrock nails or sheetrock screws and some other things along the way, and I'll show you. A little sheetrock knife, and that's about it. You know, I've got some gloves here too. Okay, so I'm going to use some gloves, and as I go, if I end up using something else, I'll show you. But you don't really need that many tools. And if you're a do-it-yourselfer, if you don't have that much money, hey, don't worry about it. You don't have to buy all the professional tools, okay? You just make do with what you have. That's what I do. All right? So let's get on with the project. Okay, so before I cut this hole, I'm going to put some more plastic down. And I want to show you exactly what I do for that. It's not going to take very long. So instead of guessing, I'm going to end up putting plastic through here. So I'm going to take my tape measure, and I'm just going to measure this. You know, it doesn't take very long. No sense guessing. So I'm going to make a piece 15 feet long. Let's go outside, and I'll show you what I'm going to use and how I'm going to cut it. I'm going to use this plastic. This is painter's plastic, and it's pretty cool. It comes into a little container like that, and I just pull it out. Okay, and I know I need 15 feet, so I'm going to pull some out. I'm going to drape it down here along the floor. Okay, and I think that's about enough, and so I'm just going to measure it. Very simple. I only got 13 feet. So that tells me I've got to pull out a little bit more. Okay, we pull it out. Hey, and remember, if I can do this, an average Joe, you can do this. Very simple. I get a long piece of plastic like this because you never know when you're going to need more plastic. Okay? So here's my 15 feet right here. I like to use a sharp sheetrock knife. Okay, now I'm just going to pull it together like that and cut it off. Kaboom. Okay? I don't think I need to show you how to put this all down, but you're just going to pull this out. We're going to set it down on the floor. Do I really have to use this dust mask? Probably I should. Now my aunt told me to get these at the store. I was trying to save the $3. Because you know I'm Joe and I always like to save you money, but you don't want to skimp when it comes to your health, okay? There's 5 little dust masks here. If you get the wrong ones, you're going to spend maybe $12, $15. These were like $3 for 5, all right? So look around at the hardware store, put one of these on. You might want some little goggles too, or some glasses or some stuff, because when we start cutting sheetrock dust, that gets in your eyes. It always happens, all right? So I'm going to try to use this dust mask a little bit, but you know, I'm afraid my voice is going to be muffled a little bit. So just don't do as I do, do as I say, all right? The thing is, when I get in saying, and then just it's over up half. That's why I can't use this dust mask, but I want you to use one. We're all ready for the project now. We got plastic all down on the floor. We got plastic up the wall because there's a couch here, there's a cabinet here, there's an organ over here. We want to keep all that stuff kind of dust free, okay? So do your best when it comes to prepping. You've got to do some prep work before you just get up there and start cutting sheetrock. I know you want to get up there, but do a little prep work first. You'll be glad you did. This is the area, okay? But before I start cutting this, what you want to do is, if you've got an attic up there, you want to go up there, kind of figure out where this area is. And if you got any insulation up there, you're going to want to pull the bats of insulation back, or in this case it was blow-in insulation up there, and the joists run this way. Okay, every 16 inches there's a ceiling joist. So what I did is I found this location right here, and I scooped all that blow-in insulation out of the way, because if you don't do that, once you cut this, it's all going to fall down and make another mess. And I want to keep that insulation up there, because once I get done with the patch, I'm going to then have to get back up in the ceiling, in the attic, and slide it all over. Okay, now if you don't have a ceiling, attic, space, obviously you're going to have to cut this, and just be careful and see what happens. If you got blow-in insulation, obviously you're probably not going to have blow-in insulation if it's an attic that you can't crawl up into. There's probably some insulation bats up there, and you're probably going to be okay. All right, so just think about certain things like that before you get going. Now, what made me decide that I want to cut this actual sheetrock out of here? Well, if you're noticing, right up in here, there's some black marks. Now, this is mold, and I don't really want to patch over there. I don't really want to treat this. It's best if I pull this out. And when I was up in the ceiling, I noticed that on the top of the sheetrock, the paper was peeling back on the top too. So that's making the sheetrock weaker. Plus, this leak had been up here for quite some time before they patched the actual roof. Okay, so then once it's dried, the sheetrock all around here has failed, and there's going to be lots of mold underneath this. What I want to do is take that out. It smells musty, and even though it's dry, you're still going to get a little bit of smell here. And it's best if you just cut this out, okay? So that's the reason why I decided to remove this sheetrock instead of just patching over it. If you had a water damaged area, and if you didn't see any visible residue of mold, and if you caught it soon enough and treated it, yeah, you could scrape off all the loose sheetrock mud, you know, and then repatch this without taking the sheetrock off. But in this case, let's take her down. Yeah, I like to protect my hands, and so I got some little gloves here. Got them at the store, $4.50. They're lightweight, and they got a rubber on here, and they're thinner than some other ones that you see at the store. So hey, it doesn't matter what kind of gloves you have, but you know, protect yourself the best you can. And I got a couple of putty knives here at the store. And I'm going to end up using those when I start patching the ceiling as well. So, you know, hey, you're going to have to break down and get yourself a couple tools now and again. But remember, the more little handyman jobs you do, the better you're going to get. Invest in yourself for a change. Buy your own tools and save that money so you don't have to pay somebody else.